Hey my fellow nerds, geeks, and or comic book lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is NeuroSpider369, and today we're here with the first Spooktober episode of Obscure Rogues. As I'm sure we're all aware, comics are known for having a wide variety of infamous rogues, most of which have grown in popularity over the years, while a vast majority of others are regarded as forgotten and obscure. In this video, we shine the spotlight on the Orb. So without further ado, let's get into it. The Orb, real name Drake Shannon, made his first debut in Marvel Team-Up number 15, published in 1973. The story was written by Wein and penciled by Anru. In it, we see Peter and MJ spending time on their date watching a motorcycle stunt show being held at Madison Square Garden. And of course, the stunt is being performed by none other than Johnny Blaze himself, aka Ghost Rider, along with his girlfriend Roxanne Simpson. However, the show is soon interrupted by a group of motorcyclists led by a man wearing a helmet in the shape of a giant eyeball. The leader introduces himself as the Orb and uses his helmet to not only put a guard into a trance, but the rest of the audience as well. Ghost Rider attempts to take out the goons, alongside Spider-Man after he changes into his costume. The Orb manages to grab hold of Roxanne while the heroes are distracted and sends the hypnotized audience to block Ghost Rider's path. The enthralled crowd then recites a message in unison, saying that Johnny Blaze is to meet with the Orb in 2 hours to exchange ownership of the stunt show in exchange for Roxanne's safety. Meanwhile, at his lair, Roxanne snaps out of the trance she was placed under and demands for the Orb to tell her who he is and why he's doing all this. He does so and reveals his identity as Drake Shannon, the former partner of her late father and Ghost Rider's former mentor, Craig Crash Simpson. Neither one wanting to buy out from the other, they decided to hold a race to decide which of them would get full control of the stunt show. Crash ended up winning, but Drake unfortunately had an accident during this time and became horrifically disfigured as a result. Driven to jealousy, Drake swore he'd take everything from his former partner and went off into hiding before being found by a group of unknown individuals who gave him his eyeball helmet. He then takes off his orb for a brief moment and shows his disfigured face to Roxanne, before Ghost Rider arrives shortly after, managing to track him down. He turns the papers giving him control of the stunt show over to Drake and makes his way out with Roxanne, when suddenly the Orb's men draw their guns out on them. Because what would a deal with a supervillain be without a double cross? Having anticipated this, Spider-Man shows up and helps take out the other bikers while the Orb makes a break for it with Roxanne. After subduing all the goons, they follow the Orb down a subway tunnel outside of the hideout. Upon reaching Grand Central Station, where Spidey is able to save Roxanne while Ghost Rider disarms the Orb with his Hellfire. The Orb tries to escape from the skull-faced biker, but is then supposedly killed after being struck by an oncoming subway car. The story ends with the heroes unable to find any remains of the Orb, and Ghost Rider burning the papers, which turned out to be forgeries. But as it turns out, Drake survived this encounter and would go on to make a couple more appearances in Volume 2 of Ghost Rider, numbers 14 to 15, and later in number 28. After that, he was pretty much just used as another cameo. As for other forms of media, the Orb has appeared in absolutely nothing. Yep, he's made no appearances outside of comics. Well, there you have it. That's the forgotten Ghost Rider villain, the Orb. Although, I guess technically just about any of his villains could be considered forgotten, since his rogues gallery isn't very well known. Now, be that as it may, I'm still going to say that he's my favorite among them. Hell, I think he might even be the most badass villain I've covered in this series so far. And that's saying a lot in my opinion, considering I've talked about Firebug. Yeah, okay, his eyeball helmet might be a bit goofy, but the fact that it can hypnotize people and shoot out lasers, yeah, that's right, shoot out lasers, is kinda kick-ass. Plus, it's really fitting for Ghost Rider to have an enemy who can ride a motorcycle and is also severely disfigured. Not to mention, they both shared a connection with Crash Simpson, being a former partner to one and a mentor to the other. Forget Mephisto, this guy needs to be Burning Bones' arch nemesis. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Obscure Rogues. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what your thoughts on the Orb are. As always, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Catch y'all later.